once again, everyone, it's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here with the Wednesday evening edition of Weather for Weather Geeks, 25th day of September here in 2019. It was yet another pretty nice day today. I've been saying this a lot lately, yes, we could use some rain, but overall, we've had some really nice days late in the summer and early in the fall season. And, we're into the time of the year, the transitional seasons of spring and fall are the two times of the year that we can have these kind of big, what we call diurnal temperature ranges. In other words, a big difference from the morning low to the afternoon high. Longer nights, drier air, leading to cooler nights at this time of the year, but also the sun is still pretty strong. And so we can, of course, get pretty warm at this time of the year. So this morning, some spots were as cool as 48, 49, 50 degrees, but we approached 80 as we got into the afternoon hours for today. All right, I mentioned, we've had some pretty nice days lately. We went through a little bit of a cloudy stretch a couple of weeks ago at the end of that week, the 12th, 13th. Of course, this is a pretty wet day on the 13th. But since then, we've had a fair amount of sunshine. Today is not included on this graphic, but of course today featured a pretty good amount of sunshine, despite some fair weather high clouds moving in the afternoon hours. It's not too unusual to see long stretches of dry and sunny weather here in early autumn. We're still in kind of our sunniest stretch of the year, which extends roughly from May through October. That 5-month period is our sunniest stretch of the year. We pay the price, of course, from November through April. We are one of the cloudiest locations in the country in Northeast Ohio and Northwest PA, thanks to our proximity to the Great Lakes as we get into the winter season. Notice the big jump between, I'll get my head out of the way here, between October and November. November really starts our cloudy season, so let's enjoy the sunshine while we have it, because we won't have it for too much longer. All right, we have a sorry excuse for a cold front on the way for tomorrow. In the meantime, there's a little bit of a warm front nudging in tonight, and I can't rule out a stray shower or a sprinkle with this. Most of us won't even notice this. It is a fairly moisture-starved situation, and this warm front is ushering in somewhat more humid air into Indiana, parts of lower Michigan this evening, and eventually Ohio will get in on this act. But this is just kind of a brief visit of the more humid air. Notice the drier air up across the upper Midwest. That's what's coming our way later in the day tomorrow. In the meantime, this front will roll through late tonight, early tomorrow morning, and then rest of the day looking just fine. I think it's going to turn bright and sunny for the afternoon. Should be a spectacular sunset for our Thursday evening, just a little after 7 o'clock, and high pressure will give us a cool and calm night for tomorrow night. Notice these dew points. Tomorrow briefly coming up very early in the day into the upper 50s to around 60, but by mid-afternoon they crash once again, and these low dew points will probably set the stage for the coolest night of the season so far in many places tomorrow night and heading into Friday morning. Definitely jacket and hoodie weather Friday morning, with some places maybe getting as cool as 44, 45 degrees. No sort of a frost threat or anything, but in most spots it'll probably be the coolest we've been so far this season. All right, great things in store for Friday afternoon, though. Despite that chilly start, as that high scoots off to the east, return flow, southerly flow on the backside means we'll get well up into the 70s Friday afternoon. Another big diurnal range on Friday, probably 45 to 78 in most spots. So pretty big 30-plus degree difference between early in the morning and late in the afternoon. Then summer returns starting this weekend. Now, this front is going to kind of wash out, I think, across parts of our region over the course of the weekend, but the proximity of this front and a warm, humid, somewhat unstable, and again, kind of a summery air mass on Saturday means we're going to allow for a spotty shower or thunderstorm as we start the weekend, but I don't think it's going to be much. And since the Penguins don't play until the evening, I suspect any stray, spotty activity is probably done with by kickoff Saturday evening. So Penguin game day forecast, that chance for a shower or storm for tailgaters in the afternoon. Kickoff temperature, warm, upper 70s, only dropping into the lower 70s before the evening is through. But check out the temperatures over the next 7 days. All right, so the weekend is summery, yes, but the really ridiculous warmth is early next week. This will tie a record. This will break a record. This will break a record if these forecasts verify. And of course, I've been saying many, many times this week, if you've been watching my online videos or watching me on 21 News at 6 and 11 or just following me on social media, we've never hit 90 in the month of October. Well, we've got a legit shot on the first day, and perhaps even the second day of October. When we look back over the last 10 years, the dates of our final 90-degree temperature of the season, last year it was around Labor Day, We had a late season heat wave 2 years ago, back in 2017. A couple of record highs occurred in late September that year, but in 2016 it was August 13th. We didn't have any 90s the whole summer in 2014. And the 30-year average, this is just the last 10 years on this list, but when we look back at the 30-year average, the last 90-degree temperature on average occurs in the middle of August. So if we hit 90 on October 1st, that's a full month and a half, behind schedule, if you will, for the last 90-degree temperature. This heat wave will not last forever, though, as you might expect in early October. That ridge will get flattened later next week, and we'll get into a little bit more of a northwesterly flow here. And while this is not a cold air mass, it is a more seasonable air mass that's going to come our way late next week into that first weekend of October. It's going to feel like fall. Around the 4th, 5th, 6th of October, that first weekend of October, we'll probably have some highs in the 60s, lows in the 40s. It'll feel like it should at this time of the year. That's still about 8 or 9 days away, though. Until then, yes, it looks mighty toasty, and in fact, records will probably fall early on next week. All right, that'll do it for me tonight. You can look forward to another edition of this in-depth weather video coming your way Thursday evening. I'll probably post on my weather blog, ericwfmj.com, this evening, a little bit more about the heat early next week, a little bit of historical perspective, and we'll talk a little bit about climate change in that blog post as well. So check that out before the evening is through, and check out my updated forecast tonight on 21 News at 11 o'clock. Have a great night.